The Atlanta Falcons training camp is going well, but what will the players' stats be this year? Find out in this episode of Falcons Talk.
And we coming for that dub like every day. Big beats hit streets, see gangsters roaming, and parties don't stop till 8 in the morning.
I said welcome to Atlanta where the Falcons play, and we going for that dub like every day. Big beats hit the streets, see gangsters roaming, and parties don't stop till 8 in the morning.
What's good, YouTube? It's Darnell Falcons in here, back with another video. Welcome back to Falcons Talk Season 3, Episode 6, where I'll predict the stats for some of the Falcons players. If you haven't watched my previous episode where I predicted the record for the 2025 season, I encourage you to go check it out. It's in the top right corner. But without further ado, let's begin the stat predictions with the face of the team, the second-year man out of Washington, quarterback Michael Penix Jr., who in his rookie year completed 58.1% of his passes, threw for 775 passing yards, 3 passing touchdowns, 3 interceptions, all of which, in my opinion, were not all his fault. He also had a quarterback rating of 51.2, 7 carries for 11 yards, and a rushing touchdown. Going into his second year and first full season, the expectations for him are sky high. The offense is built for Penix to succeed, and offensive coordinator Zach Robinson is a great coach for him. In a small sample size, we saw the offense move effectively under Penix, and I do believe he will have a breakout year, despite having a few miscues here and there. Nonetheless, in the first full season under Michael Penix Jr., he will complete 64.1% of passes, throw for 7,791 passing yards, 42 passing touchdowns, 10 interceptions, a quarterback rating of 116.95, 20 carries for 538 rushing yards, and a rushing touchdown. This will be a great season for Michael Penix. Next up is a wide receiver Drake London. Last season, he had 100 receptions, over 1,000 yards, 12.7 yards after catch, and 9 touchdowns. London had a breakout season thanks to competent quarterback play. He'll continue to be great, especially with Penix. He's going to break out even more. This season, I predict that London will have 110 receptions, 1,389 yards, 15.8 yards after catch, and 12 touchdowns. With Michael Penix Jr. at the helms, London will obviously be his number one target this season, hence the 9-5 reference, which will be better than the other 9-5. Yes, that was a jab at Ritter. I think this is the chance for him to finally earn Pro Bowl recognition, and he will be respected. Mark my words. Next, we have wide receiver Darnell Mooney. In his first season with Atlanta, he had 64 receptions, 992 yards, 15.5 yards to catch, and 5 touchdowns. This was by far his best year and fell 8 yards shy of 1,000 yards. Mooney was a solid wide receiver too for us, and I do believe he'll have an even better season with us this year. I predict he'll have 70 receptions, 1,025 yards, 12.4 yards after catch, and 10 touchdowns. He showed explosives with that season, and Penix will elevate him. Following that, we have fan favorite wide receiver KhaDarel Hodge. He was more so on special teams, but he did have some plays on offense. His 2024 season consisted of 7 receptions, 131 yards, 18.7 yards after catch, 1 touchdown, and that's all. In 2025, I still do see him playing limited reps again with 10 receptions, 219 yards, 8.9 yards after catch, and 2 touchdowns. Again, you won't see much of Hodge on offense this season. Expect to see him play more on special teams. Next up, we have wide receiver Casey Washington. who was severely limited in his rookie year with only 1 reception for 14 yards. Expect him to compete for a wide receiver 3 slot. I do think we will have, a lot of competition at wide receiver 3, and I do think we will see a bit more out of Washington this year, with 13 receptions, 243 yards, 6.7 yards after catch, and 2 touchdowns. I would definitely love to see what we have in him before ditching him out. Next up, we have wide receiver Ray-Ray McCloud III. In his first year in Atlanta, the former 49er had 62 receptions for 854 yards, 11.1 yards after catch, and 1 touchdown. McCloud was a solid wide receiver 3, and you can expect him to be rotated from time to time. This season, he'll have 30 receptions, 357 yards, 9.8 yards after catch, and 2 touchdowns. I understand it's less than last year, but with the current roster and the wide receiver we have on board, you're going to see less of Ray-Ray McCloud. And the last wide receiver I want to talk about is the rookie UDFA, Nick Nash, who in his last season at San Diego State had 104 receptions, 1,382 yards, 13.3 yards per catch, and 16 touchdowns. In his rookie year, being a UDFA, not many people will be paying too much attention to him. Nonetheless, I expect him to have 11 receptions, 143 yards, 8.5 yards per catch, and 3 touchdowns, which is not too shabby for a UDFA rookie. Next up is someone who people will be watching very closely. Tight end Kyle Pitts, whom last year had another disappointing season with 47 receptions, 602 yards, 12.8 yards after catch, and 4 touchdowns. The former 4th overall pick back in 2021 has been severely underperforming, and the thought was that with Kirk Cousins at the helms, he would break out and be back to his rookie form. But now he's on the 5th year on his rookie deal and about to have a 5th quarterback starting week 1 and his 6th quarterback overall in his entire career. He had Matt Ryan, Marcus Mariota, Desmond Ridder, Michael Penix Jr., Kirk Cousins, and he also had Taylor Heineke. That's 6 different quarterbacks that he played with. Unbelievable. So we gotta start asking the question, is this guy a bust? And I've been hesitant on Pitts. I've been on the trade Pitts train this offseason, I will admit. But then I thought about how he could fare with Penix, and I started to wonder, is Penix the last hope for him? Or is he simply a bust to be? I believe in Penix's ability to revitalize the talented tight end. This season, I predict he will have 55 receptions for 1,025 yards, 8.2 yards on the catch, and 5 touchdowns. If all hell breaks loose with Pitts, I might look like the biggest con ever. Kyle Pitts, please, for the love of God, don't disappoint me. Don't disappoint your teammates. Don't disappoint the city, but most importantly, don't disappoint the fans who believe in you. This is your final chance. Next up is tight end Charlie Woerner, who didn't get much attention as Pitts did last year, with 7 receptions for 46 yards and 6.6 yards at the catch. In 2025, continue to expect the workload being mostly on him. But for Woerner, I do see him getting the ball a bit more, with 5 receptions for 145 yards, 3.6 yards after catch, and 2 touchdowns. The next man up is my favorite player, running back Bijan Robinson, who had a stellar 2024 breakout season with 304 carries, 1,456 yards, 14 touchdowns, 4.8 yards per carry, and as a receiver, 61 receptions, 431 yards, 1 touchdown, 7.1 yards after catch. Bijan is a superstar, and in his third year, I predict he'll break out even more with 350 carries. Get this, guys. 2,000, yes, over 2,000, 2,045 yards, 20 touchdowns, and 11.9 yards per carry. While as a receiver, 9 receptions, 142 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 8.3 yards after catch. 2,000 yards might be a reach, but you can't deny he's one of the best running backs in the league. Having worked with Christian McCaffrey and Saquon Barkley, who both have tremendous respect for Robinson, and this year he will run over everybody and become the best running back in the entire NFL. Next up is his running man Tyler Algier, who unsurprisingly had a lighter workload than Bijan, but still showed out with 137 carries for 644 yards, 3 touchdowns, 4.7 yards per carry. While as a receiver, 13 receptions, 88 yards, 6.8 yards after catch. In 2025, I do think he will get more involved with 152 carries, 1,025 yards, 5 touchdowns, 7.9 yards per carry, and 8 receptions, 103 yards, 5.4 yards after catch, and 2 touchdowns as a receiver. Algier should not be forgotten. He showed time and time again he can be a bulldozer that can run you over and will not go down. I expect a 60-40 running style game. He deserves more carries. So moving on to defense, let's go over to the leader of the secondary, and arguably the entire defense, Jessie Bates III, the safety, the best signing Terry Fontenot has made in his tenure in Atlanta. Last season, he had 102 total tackles, 4 forced fumbles, a sack, a fumble recovery, 4 interceptions, including a pick 6 and 10 pass deflections. I don't see a way Bates progresses ever. In year 3, I can see a potential breakout season with 125 total tackles, 8 forced fumbles, 3 fumble recoveries, 8 interceptions, including 3 pick 6s, and 15 pass deflections. Jessie Bates has and will continue to be a great player for this Falcons defense. Next up is the first rookie on this list, Xavier Watts out of Notre Dame. In his last season, he had 82 total tackles, a forced fumble, a fumble recovery, 6 interceptions, including a pick 6, and 10 pass deflections. In his rookie year, I can see him having 53 total tackles, 2 forced fumbles, a fumble recovery, 2 interceptions, and 8 pass deflections. Watts showed incredible talent at Notre Dame and was a 2-time consecutive first-team All-American from 2023 to 2024 with his 13 interceptions in over 2 seasons, the most by any FBS player during that span, which could explain why the Falcons traded up to get him from the Eagles in the 3rd round. With Jessie Bates alongside him, he can learn great things from him and will greatly help his growth. Next up is Watts' fellow rookie teammate, Billy Bowman Jr., the talented DB out of Oklahoma, who was named 3rd team All-SEC and was a recipient of Oklahoma's Don Key Award, the program's highest annual honor. In his last season, he had 54 total tackles, 2 forced fumbles for a touchdown, 2 interceptions for a touchdown, and 3 pass deflections. In his rookie year, expect him to play more of a nickel-style defensive back. I see him having 42 total tackles, a forced fumble, 2 fumble recoveries, 2 interceptions, 5 pass deflections. Next up is a guy who missed all of last season due to an ankle injury, that being DeMarco Hellams. In his 3rd year, fully recovered from the injury, he'll have 70 total tackles, 2 forced fumbles, 2 interceptions, and 3 pass deflections. Hellams has a lot of talent, and I do think being back on the field, he will produce well. Next up is the former Carolina Panther Jordan Fuller. and LA Ram, he has played with Raheem Morris. Nonetheless, in his last year in Carolina, he had 54 total tackles, a forced fumble, and 3 pass deflections. In his first year in Atlanta, expect him to be a rotational position player rather than solely in one. So this year, he'll have 49 total tackles, 2 forced fumbles, a fumble recovery, an interception, and a pass deflection. Next man up is D. Alford. Alford was a decent CB2 for us. Last season, he had 83 total tackles, a forced fumble, a sack, and 11 pass deflections. In 2025, I can see a small bounce back from him with 73 total tackles, 2 forced fumbles, a fumble recovery, 3 interceptions, and 6 pass deflections. The talent is there for Alford. He just needs a push and the right coaching. Next up is a talented Kobe Bryant, the cornerback, who surprisingly went undrafted this year. Nonetheless, the rookie out of Kansas, who was the first Jayhawk in Big 12 history to be named first team All Big 12 in 3 straight seasons, he's going to be great. Last season, he had 37 total tackles, 4 interceptions, half a sack, and 7 pass deflections. How he was undrafted is diabolical, but nonetheless, he will have a great rookie year with 48 total tackles, 3 interceptions, including a pick 6, 2 forced fumbles, and 7 pass deflections. Next is Clark Phillips III, who played significantly well last year with 35 total tackles, 2 forced fumbles, a fumble recovery, 1 interception, and 5 pass deflections. Clark has put up good numbers, and I can see him having a rotational role with us this year, with 42 total tackles, 3 forced fumbles, 1 fumble recovery, 2 interceptions, and 3 pass deflections. Next is A.J. Terrell, who had a significantly better year than 2023, with 66 total tackles and 2 interceptions. I know his stat line isn't that glamorous, but those were his first 2 interceptions since 2021. He has 6 altogether in his career. He has talent without a doubt, but he just needs the right coaching. And with our defensive set that we have right now, I think he will succeed with 62 total tackles, 3 forced fumbles, 4 interceptions, a pick 6, and 3 pass deflections. Next, a former Brown who also played for us in the past, Mike Ford. He didn't see much playing time on defense. He most notably played on special teams with only 13 total tackles. In 2025, expect the same here. He will mostly be on special teams while still having some snaps on defense with 20 total tackles and an interception. Next is Mike Hughes, who the Falcons re-signed in the offseason as a solid cornerback too. Last season, he had 66 total tackles and 6 pass deflections. In 2025, I can see him continue to play a crucial part in the secondary, both as a cornerback and a nickel. He has talent, and he has shown it time and time again. In 2025, he'll have 54 total tackles, 1 interception, 1 forced fumble, and 3 pass deflections. Next up is linebacker Troy Anderson, who had a decent year coming off a pec injury in 2023. With 47 total tackles, 1 interception, including which was a pick 6. That was his first career interception and first career touchdown at the same time. He also had a pass deflection. He has spent the 2025 season getting back in shape. And with a linebacker-minded coach in Jeff Ulbrich, the sky's the limit for him. This year he'll have 56 total tackles, 3 sacks, 2 pass deflections, and a fumble recovery. Next up is J.D. Bertrand, who didn't get much playing time in his rookie year, but showed a few flashes with 23 total tackles and a sack. In his sophomore year, you can expect him to have a rotational role on defense with 35 total tackles, 2.5 sacks, and 1 forced fumble. Next is a guy who's been consistent at getting to the quarterback. He calls himself the Doctor, Arnold Ebiketie, who last year had 38 total tackles, 6 sacks, a fumble recovery, and 2 pass deflections. He was the Falcons' leading sack man. This year, I expect him to explode with 56 total tackles, 9.5 sacks, 3 forced fumbles, and 1 pass deflection. Yes, it's half a sack shy of double digits, still excellent. But wait till you see the next player. Next up is a man we all will have our eyes on, Jalen Walker, the rookie out of Georgia, who last season had 60 total tackles, 6.5 sacks, 2 pass deflections, and a fumble recovery. Walker will be solid, and his rookie year primarily focused on him being a pass rusher, while also being an off-ball linebacker. In his rookie year, I can see him having 52 total tackles, 5.5 sacks, 1 pass deflection, 3 forced fumbles, and a fumble recovery. Next up is Divine Diablo, the former Las Vegas Raider, who had 62 total tackles, a sack, and 2 pass deflections. In his first year in Atlanta, he will have a solid campaign with 68 total tackles, 2.5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, and a fumble recovery. Next up is the leader of the linebackers, Kaden Elliss. Ever since we signed him, he's always put up good numbers, and especially after the bye week last season, he had a sack in each game, excluding the Panthers. Last season, he had 151 total tackles, 5 sacks, 1 forced fumble, 1 fumble recovery, 1 interception, 3 pass deflections. In his third year, I can see him breaking out with 172 total tackles, 7.5 sacks, 3 forced fumbles, 2 fumble recoveries, and 2 pass deflections. This should undoubtedly make him a top 100 player next year. Next up, a guy who we've all been waiting to see ever since he got drafted in 2024, and a guy that people forgot about. It's Braylon Trice, who unfortunately missed all of his rookie year last season with an ACL injury week 1 versus Dolphins. Nearly a year later, he's back in action and ready to show what he has in his quote-unquote second year. But let's be real, it's kind of his first year in playing, first time he's going to touch the NFL field. But nonetheless, he will have 42 total tackles, 4 sacks, a fumble recovery, and a pass deflection. A solid stat line coming off an injury. Next up is defensive end Brandon Dollars, who was rarely seen last year, only having 3 total tackles. In his second year, expect more usage out of him, with 38 total tackles, 5 sacks, a forced fumble, and 2 pass deflections. Next up, another highly anticipated player, rookie James Pierce Jr. out of Tennessee. In his last season, he had 38 total tackles, 7.5 sacks, a forced fumble, a fumble recovery, and a pass deflection. In his rookie year, expect to wreak havoc alongside his fellow pass rusher, Jalen Walker, with 51 total tackles, 6.5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, a fumble recovery, and a pass deflection. This will be a fairly solid sideline for James Pierce Jr. But wait till you hear the next player I'm about to talk about. Next up, the former 49er, Georgia Bulldog, and most importantly, the Georgia native, we have Leonard Floyd, known as Mr. Consistent, and the stats speak for themselves. He had 42 total tackles, 8.5 sacks, a fumble, 1 forced fumble, and a pass deflection. Being reunited with his former defensive coordinator, Raheem Morris, he's going to excel. In his first year back home, he's going to break out on all aspects. He will have 85 total tackles, 12.5 sacks, 4 forced fumbles, 2 fumble recoveries, 1 for a touchdown, and 2 pass deflections. The hometown kid will put a show for the hometown team. And with 12.5 sacks, he becomes the first Atlanta Falcons as a big beast slate to have double-digit sacks in one season, dating back to 2016, the Super Bowl year. Next up is Zach Harrison. In his sophomore year, we didn't see many flashes of him, but he still played well with 26 total tackles, a sack, and 2 pass deflections. In year 3, I have him having a slightly better year with 35 total tackles, 4.5 sacks, and 3 forced fumbles. Next up is David Onyemata. Despite his age, he has been a solid nose tackle. Last season, he had 45 total tackles, 3 sacks, and a pass deflection. In 2025, I do see him slightly regressing, notably due to his age, with 40 total tackles, 2.5 sacks, and 2 forced fumbles. Next up is Taquan Graham, another guy we really heard much from last season, with only 12 total tackles. But being re-signed with the Falcons this offseason, they must clearly see the potential in him, which is why this season I see him having 26 total tackles, 3.5 sacks, a forced fumble, and 1 pass deflection. Next up is Morgan Fox, the former LA Charger. In his last season, including his game in the wild card, he had 29 total tackles, 3.5 sacks, and a pass deflection. In his first year in Atlanta, I can see him filling the hole that was left by former Falcon Grady Jarrett. He's going to have 34 total tackles, 4.5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, and a pass deflection. And last but not least, we have the guy who's been the joke of the offseason, a guy who's been teased by many for his lack of production, Rook Oberoro, who in his rookie year only had 12 total tackles. In his sophomore year, I decided to give him the benefit of the doubt. He's going to have 21 total tackles, 2.5 sacks, and a forced fumble. He does have potential, and I'll give him a chance. And now to conclude. The Falcons 2025 roster is stacked and playoff ready. But as always, guys, these stats are not official, but my personal prediction of how each player will do. Some could be right, some could be wrong. Nonetheless, we have a reason to be excited this season. And that's going to wrap up episode 6. Thank you guys for watching. If you have not already, please like, share, and subscribe, and comment down below what you thought of the video. Until next time, this is Darnell Falcons fan, signing out. Peace out, be blessed, be safe. I'll see you in the next video.